The cottage felt familiar. Familiar, but not exactly the same. It felt the way a favourite jumper does after it's been folded and put away, then worn once more. Everything was where it should be. Biscuits in the tin, fruit in the bowl, dishes and plates in the dresser, and curly straws standing to attention in their little pot by the bottle of elderflower cordial. Yes, familiar, but... The bunnies moved through the cottage a little more slowly, as though they were noticing the tiny details that made it their home. Outside, the garden rested. The grass tickled the edges of the path as it wended its way through the daisy-dappled lawn. The willow tree drooped feathery leaves into the breeze and swayed with delicate grace, whispering its greeting to the blackbirds in the hedge. The vegetable patch looked tidy and proud of itself. Cabbages round and firm, celery softly green, spring onions and beans and carrots and peas aplenty. But as the bunnies cast a glance toward the sky above, it all felt different somehow. Not larger exactly, but clearer, as though it had learned something while they were away, and was quietly holding on to its new-found knowledge. Berry was the first to stop. He had been carrying a small bowl of turnip peelings out to the compost heap when he noticed the apple core. It lay on its side near the edge of the lawn by the hedge. Its pale, yellowy flesh was marked with the tiniest, carefulest nibbles. Berry crouched beside it. "That's funny," he murmured. Floyd came over, followed by Caratina and Millie Moonbeam. They all looked down together. "It's not birds," said Caratina. "Their beaks leave sharper marks." "And not mice," Millie Moonbeam added. "They'd have dragged the apple away." Roscoe joined them, hands resting easily on his tumblington. He cast a knowing eye over the apple core without touching it. "Looks like someone passed through," he said. "Someone small." Berry's ears twitched. "But where are they now?" Roscoe smiled. "Somewhere else." They didn't move the apple core. Somehow it didn't feel like theirs to tidy away just yet. The day carried on with peaceful doings of. Floyd swept the path, making neat little piles of leaves that whispered together when the breeze passed through. Caratina watered the cabbages, careful not to splash water into their leaf-tight middles. Millie Moonbeam sat on the step, shelling peas into a cream-coloured ceramic bowl. Every now and then she popped one in between whiskery lips and savoured their crunchy green sweetness. Roscoe was dripping oil into a hinge on the garden gate that had been squeaking and creaking of late. Berry was in the shed, mixing handfuls of sand into rich, earthy compost, the perfect combination for growing the most plumptious carrots. And every so often, one of them paused, a sound in the hedge, a soft rustle, the faintest swish of leaves. Nothing appeared. "I think we may have a visitor," Floyd said at one point. "Maybe," said Roscoe. "Or maybe it's just passing by, same as we do sometimes." they let that be enough. By late afternoon, the light had changed, and so had the garden. It felt less like a place for games, and more like a place for listening. Shadows grew longer beneath the apple tree. The birds quietened, their songs sung for the day. A few gave a final chirp, saying, "See you in the morning, when another day's adorning." Berry stood very still near the fence. "Roscoe," he said softly, "it feels like something might happen." Roscoe followed his gaze to the hedge. "It might," he said, "and it might not. Either way, it's just fine." They waited in companionable silence. Then, just at the edge of noticing, something moved. Not in a rush, nor in a hurry. A rounded shape emerged from the shadow beneath the hedge. A small nose appeared, twitching. A sound like gentle sniffing drifted through the air, purposeful and unhurried. The bunnies didn't speak. The hedgehog stepped forward, its prickly spines catching the last of the light. It paused, listened, glass black eyes shining, then continued on its way, snuffling through the leaves with quiet determination. It did not look at them once. It was engrossed in the moment. And then it was gone. The garden felt different afterwards, not emptier, fuller. Millie Moonbeam exhaled softly. It was only here for a moment. Roscoe nodded. That's often just enough. They didn't follow, they didn't search for where it had gone. Instead, they noticed what remained. The gentle trail through the leaves, a tiny, perfect paw print, the turned earth near the compost heap. The bunnies all had the sense that the garden did not belong to them only. It had the feeling now of a shared space. Back inside, lamps were lit and supper warmed. Bread was sliced, carrot and coriander soup was ladled. A wheel of soft, creamy cheese was brought out from the larder. Another of Larry Hagglemouse's finest. The windows reflected the room back at itself, glowing and safe. As they ate, Berry spoke. "It's funny," he said. "The garden feels bigger now." "But it's the same size," Floyd said. Berry nodded. "I know, but it feels like it fits more things in it." Roscoe smiled quietly. Later, as blankets were tucked beneath chinnigans and the cottage settled, Berry stared at the wooden beams that crossed the ceiling for just a moment before closing his eyes. "Some places feel big because they go on forever," he murmured. "And some feel big because they make room." "Yes," said Roscoe gently, "that's very well noticed." Outside, the garden breathed out and rested. Somewhere, unseen, the hedgehog carried on. Inside, the bunnies drifted off into dreams of gently flowing woodland streams. All was snug. All was well. Night, night.